Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me tonight on the live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We're going to talk about the news. We'll talk about Bitcoin market a little bit. Like I said, I'll take your questions and I'm going to move some crypto. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. Keep in mind, this is really not an investors forum. I don't really talk about what coins are hot and that kind of stuff. It's a technical assistance with Bitcoin, and your questions about moving crypto or getting wallets installed, that kind of good stuff. Let's get this thing going. Okay, so here we are. Whoops. All right. Let's see, we got the social distancing shirt on. For those of you who are not familiar with this state, this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which I have visited, which was really cool. They're sort of their own breed up there. They sort of feel like this is their state. I mean, if any section of the country should, what we call secede, I would say should be the Upper Peninsula. They're really cool up there. But there's not very many people up there, right? So they haven't been close to each other in a while. That's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'm here in front of the rig, as usual. There's the rig there. My first attempt at a water-cooled system. Been doing pretty good. I did have an overflow a while back. I was playing a game, and I normally have my my fan set at a low rate. Just so I don't have to listen to them. And that's usually enough, but apparently it overheated a bit, and one of the hoses popped, and like liquid started spewing everywhere. It was kind of freaky. I just shut down the machine, and everything was, I attended to it. Everything was fine. You know, because it's vertical, the water did not like drip into the components of the machine. It just sort of spilled down into the bottom of the case. So anyway, bit of Knisley history there. All right, so let's switch over here to the screen. Everybody's here. A lot of people are here. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna pop out chat real quick so I can move this over. There was an early question about Bitcoin in general, which I would like to cover. Before I get too much into it, I would like to also point out that there are a lot of goodies down in the description below. I've got my affiliate links, and I don't know where that card is, but I was given a personal code from Ledger that you can, any of you can use at checkout if you would like to buy a Ledger device. I believe it only works with the Ledger Nano X. That's what they told me. So if you go to Ledger and you go over to your card and hit checkout and you paste in my CryptoDad code, come on Rex, you can do it. There we go. Still working, right? You'll get like a 20% discount on your Ledger Nano X. It'll probably work on multiples. So just like to point that out. We've got the crypto.com affiliate link where you can get 25 bucks if you stake a card, which is a pretty cool reward. Got TREASURY link, Kraken link, Binance US link, Coinbase, Brave browser. I would like to thank everybody out there that has clicked my affiliate links. Lately, they're generating quite a stir. I'm getting a lot of Coinbase, which I hadn't normally been getting. So there must be a lot of newcomers watching my videos. I appreciate all of you. All of the news stories that we're going to cover are down here in the description below, linking to the original article if you would like to check those out and further. I've got some DeFi sites listed down here if you want to explore the world of DeFi. These are the Ethereum-based DeFi websites. I've got the Binance Smart Chain-based DeFi website. I've got the Binance Smart Chain extension, which is a BNB wallet that is cross-platform between regular Binance and the Binance Smart Chain. I've got some, these are mostly Medium articles for the guides for these Binance Smart Chain DeFi, links to a bunch of my DeFi videos, links to a bunch of my Ledger-based videos. So there might be some questions tonight about stuff, and there's a lot of good links to a lot of the things that I've been talking about. And then we've got Mastering Bitcoin, which is a free link to the Mastering Bitcoin book. And then I'm going to talk about the code base to Bitcoin tonight. All right. So once again, thank you, W. Lincoln Continental is here. I'm going to answer your question, Lincoln. Don't go anywhere. Dan Westra is here. DR is here. Welcome. Treb3 is here. Welcome, welcome. Martin Dodge is here. Scott Lee is here. Wonderful to have you once again, Scott, one of my most faithful viewers. Really appreciate you, Scott, and also the help that you give to people that are asking questions that maybe I'm missing. It's great to see you guys discussing among yourselves. Rodney Siddons is here. Frank Piazza, Martin Dodge, Our Lady of Cordial Civility. Looks like we're in good shape. I've managed to greet everybody. Before I jump into the news, I would like to address Lincoln Continental's question because he was here first and early, and he's asking about what's going to happen when more and more Bitcoin gets mined. What will the miners be doing? They'll still be mining Bitcoin. They'll just be mining less of it. They'll be getting rewarded less and less as time goes on. What exactly will happen when all of the Bitcoin is mined? The dynamics will change, but I'm assuming that that's when it's just sort of becomes. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that there'll still be rewards given out for processing transactions. I'm not really sure how that will work now that they won't be discovering blocks anymore, since they'll all be discovered. But up until that time, people will continue to mine Bitcoin. Like I said, they'll just be mining less and less as we get closer and closer to the limit of 21 million Bitcoin, right? And why can't they make more Bitcoin? I'd like to just, let's see, which browser is that in? Let's, this is the Bitcoin codebase on GitHub. If you're not familiar with GitHub, it's a code repository website where people can come together, and this is like the code for Bitcoin. So if you were interested in downloading this code to your own machine and setting up development tools and running this code, it would work. And you'd be able to add features and fix bugs, but you wouldn't be able to actually upload those to the code base, official code base, without it being approved, it being vetted, and that sort of thing. These are the contributors. They maintain the code. So GitHub is a way that coders can come together and sort of check out the code and work on branches of it where they can find bugs and add features. And then there's a mechanism to upload, but it's governed by an organization, and there's a hierarchy. And so because the way Bitcoin is designed, the code base is set, no one would allow someone to add code that would somehow extend Bitcoin or make it hold more Bitcoin. There have been disputes in the past, and those have resulted in hard forks. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision are all forks of the original Bitcoin code, although Bitcoin Cash claims to be the real Bitcoin, but that's beyond this discussion. So the code cannot change without total approval, and Bitcoin is designed to only have 21 million total. All right, so let's get to the news. And I've got a link here for Mastering Bitcoin if you want to buy the book. I guess we could go over, where are we? I can't see. I can't see. Okay, here we go. Get this bright light in my face. That's, oh, I should put it here, right? Well, let's just move it, right? Ugh. All right, here we go. Have I ever used a computer before? I'm wondering this to myself. All right, I'm just gonna... let's put the H there. All right, let's paste the rest of it. Okay, that'll work. That should work. All right. Boy, got lost there. All right. So here we go. Another day, another all-time high. Bitcoin hits 24K in weekend surge. It did hit 24K a few days back. I'm trying to remember. I believe the all-time high, the first all-time high was hit on Tuesday. It broke its all-time high from 2017. In fact, 2 weeks before, it had broken a few all-time highs that were logged on other cryptocurrency exchanges. There were only a couple of cryptocurrency exchanges that actually logged Bitcoin higher than 20,000 back in 2017. But many people felt that 20,000 was the all-time high from 2007. It was close enough, right? Well, we busted that on Tuesday, and within a day or two of that, it did cross 24 and then pull back a little bit. And it has since pulled back like 5%, maybe 7 or 8% from where it was, but we're still like well over 20. I mean, well over 20. So you can check this article out. I was probably going to talk about metrics and charts and that kind of stuff, stuff that we talk about a lot on this. There's a psychological barrier, 24,000. It's pretty cool. So, and we're still, we could pull back to 18.5. There's always the naysayers out there, the chartists. It's funny because, I don't want to call anybody out, but I'm not the kind of person that will put clickbait in my YouTube titles. I try not to. I try to kind of be descriptive about what my videos are. But I've saw some clickbait, like, oh, Bitcoin is due to pull back to 13.5, and they say that so that people will click on their video and watch it, because they're horrified. Oh, no, it's going to pull back to 13.5. And then a few days later, they were clickbaiting, oh, Bitcoin just broke, 20, what's next? It's like all these people that, but this guy right here is probably, a chartist. He's not looking for clicks. He's just making a prediction. But anyway, if you want to read more into that, I'm going to try not to get too bogged down in the stories, kind of move forward so we can move into the good stuff of the live stream, which is where I take your questions and we move Bitcoin around or whatever. We're going to look at some other cryptos. But this is the big story over the last few days. This story has evolved somewhat, but I'm linking to the Thursday announcement of Coinbase saying that they're going to file for, what do they call that, a public offering, right? So this is big news, right? And we don't know what he was thinking, but they may have been planning this announcement for a while and sort of waiting for Bitcoin to hit the all-time high. Before they made this announcement, when there was a lot of interest in Bitcoin. But then again, if they were going to announce it at some point, you can't always rely on the price of Bitcoin to be somewhere. So they may have announced it sooner or later anyway, whether Bitcoin broke its all-time high or not. But this was kind of a perfect time for him to announce that coin. And if you're not familiar with Coinbase, it is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the U.S., very compliant, catering to the average user, the new user, the experienced user. They have a Coinbase Pro website. They also appeal to the institutional investor. They have custodial services. They're heavily involved in Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrency exchanges, right? So it's a perfect time for them to announce that they're going public. Hang on just a sec. Christabel, can you please keep it down a little bit? CryptoDad had to be dad. Okay, so we got that story. Let's see, we got on-chain data suggests institutions are buying Bitcoin over the counter. Now, we all know, well, we may not all know, but Bitcoin is transparent. The blockchain is public. It's transparent. It's not encoded or encrypted in any way. Bitcoin uses cryptography to validate wallets and ownership and for keeping the blockchain secure, but it is not an encrypted block. It is not scrambled, right? So anyone can look at it. And so there's a lot of analysis of what goes on the blockchain, which is applied to some of the charts. But there are ways to move Bitcoin around in what we would call OTC, over-the-counter markets. And I've done this a long time. I know how Bitcoin works with wallets and whatnot. I'm still a little having trouble wrapping my head around OTC. My view of it is you walk into some storefront and there's a guy there and he's like, how much Bitcoin do you want to buy? And you say, I want to buy 5 Bitcoin. And then you hand over like a briefcase full of money or whatever, or you transfer money from your bank account directly to the guy behind the counter, and then he gives you, or you hold up your Bitcoin wallet address and he transfers the Bitcoin. I don't know, but apparently it's not like you're doing it online, right? You're not doing it on an exchange, but it still has to go across the blockchain. But apparently it's sort of a way to keep it so that it's not obvious when people are making huge purchases. And it could also be similar to, say, all right, well, Coinbase has like billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in their cold wallets, right? And that could belong to them. So that, okay, we've got $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. Do you want to buy some? And the guy says, yeah, we want to buy some. And then they pull out their book and they go, all right, this is no longer our Bitcoin. This is your Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin doesn't really move, right? I don't know. Here I am saying, I don't know. Maybe read the article. I should have read the entire article. But that's what I get, that there's not, it's not happening on major exchanges, so there's not a big tipping the hand of, hey, there's huge amounts of Bitcoin changing hands, you know. But these were how they handled some of these very large purchases of Bitcoin, right? These over-the-counter methods. So, but that's good news for institutional investment in crypto and whatnot. Right, so you might want to check that out. And now the big news from yesterday, the U.S. is announced, Steve Mnuchin announced that they want to increase regulation of Bitcoin wallets. And the interesting thing about this announcement was normally this sort of thing would have really crashed the fragile Bitcoin market. Like if this had come in 2017, the entire market would have just like dove like 20%. Bitcoin heard him, and Bitcoin answered him and said, now I'm at 20,000. What do you think of me now? Right? Bitcoin didn't care that the U.S. government is attempting to regulate Bitcoin. And it sort of has to do with self-custodial wallets. We know that you can buy Bitcoin on an exchange and they'll hold it for you. And that's what a lot of people do, and that's kind of where Bitcoin begins and ends for them, right? They never actually move their Bitcoin off the exchange to their own wallet. Well, you'll see me doing that tonight. And basically, I have a wallet that's on my computer, and I guess the gist of this regulation is that the exchanges will not be allowed to let me transfer Bitcoin to my own wallet unless they log who I am and where I am and where my wallet is, I guess. But that's really a weird. It's going to be difficult to encapsulate, right? To implement, right? Let alone enforce. But that's the idea, is that, okay, I have a Ledger Nano X and it has a private key that's stored in the device, and I'm at this address and here's my name and everything. It's sort of like that already. I mean, Coinbase knows my address. I had to validate my identity when I signed up. So wouldn't it make sense that if I'm withdrawing to my own wallet, that wallet is in my possession at my address or whatever? But it's just sort of like they want to, and if I withdraw more than 10,000 Bitcoin in one day, they're supposed to send that information to FinCEN, which is, the guys that watch out for money laundering and that sort of thing. But like I said, these new regulations were sort of shrugged off by the market. And then this article, well, I thought I had a different article. I have another article that's about this, but I think it's down below. But anyway, let me go to these two articles. This is an article about people in Congress that are objecting to these rules. And they're saying, no, it's not a good idea. It's too soon. It's too soon. So there's some disagreement in Washington about this. The interesting thing that they mention here is that they really don't have any power over the Department of the Treasury, right? The Department of the Treasury can do this with or without congressional approval. This is kind of what I got. And these congressmen are kind of saying, hey, maybe we should talk more about this. Maybe this should be done more transparently, and Congress should have a say. And, but apparently these regulations can just, they can just implement these regulations on their own authority, the Treasury Department. All right. And then a lot of people are mentioning that it's kind of late in the administration to be doing this, because we're about to have a transition between administrations, and if Mnuchin doesn't get this passed in time, then Janet Yellen will be coming in, taking over. So who's to know what's going to happen with this, right? And then there's another article here that's also linked below that's talking about that she's also objecting to this, right? A rule adopted now could potentially extend the BSA to new types of transactions beyond Congress's intent. So there's been an announcement that the government wants to regulate Bitcoin, and there's voices within the government that are disagreeing with this. So a lot different than what it would have been back in 2017. All right. All right, so let's say hello to everybody. I'm glad everyone's here again. W, hey, that is because every 4 years the reward that miners get are reduced in half. That's true. He's sort of answering Lincoln's question. Happy to be here. W's here. Dan Westra, 24,000 BC. Hold on, folks. This is a two-way street. Thanks for sharing your rig setup a few weeks back. I listened and built my own, and my daughter watched me then build her own. She did a great job for a teenager. That's pretty cool. I'm glad to hear that, Dan. I built my kids' rigs, but they lose interest pretty quickly after the first half hour of me building the rig. They haven't actually tried to build their own. Do you run a node or do you just stake coins? No, I'm not a node runner. Running a node takes technical acumen, and it takes resources. You need to run your machine basically 24/7. You have to maintain it. You have to keep it updated. If it crashes, you gotta deal with that. You're going to be using a lot of bandwidth on your internet connection, and your ISP, your internet service provider, you're going to have to bump up, you know, whatever you pay to them, because you'll probably go over your data allotment for every month. So no, I don't run nodes, right? I gave up on doing stuff like that back in the days when I used to maintain websites, and it's very frustrating. A website can so easily break, and then like everybody's freaking out, you know, oh, it's live, and like I got to drop everything I'm doing and go deal with something that went wrong with the website, or people keep submitting things they want me to add to the website. I just got tired of dealing with like that sort of tech support, right? I wanted to step back and be more in a teaching role, a research role, than being, you know, the tech guy that like handles the website. It's just, so running a node would be like running a website to me. So no, I don't run nodes. Happy to be a troll, huh? Scott, happy to be a troll. In lieu of new hard wallet, how do you cash out a 200K Bitcoin from your hard wallet? Rodney Siddons. That's a pretty good question, Rodney. Where was that? I want to look at that one article, if I can find it. I thought that, or maybe it must have been in this article. Let me see if I can find it. This is not it. Where was that article? Let me see if I can. Okay. All right. I emailed it to myself earlier, so let me see if I can find it. Okay. Institutions over. That's not it. I'm never going to be. I never can find it when I'm looking for it. My dad's sending me stuff. Pooey. All right. I'm just going to have to do this from memory. So Andreas Antonopoulos, who wrote this book, Mastering Bitcoin, had some interesting insights into this whole thing about Bitcoin wallet regulations, right? And basically he was saying it would have the unintended effect of moving people away from centralized exchanges and more into decentralized exchanges and decentralized things, right? So your question is, well, how am I going to cash out my 200K in Bitcoin? And the answer is, well, you could do it 10,000 at a time over a period of days, or you could just spend the Bitcoin, right? More and more as we see things going forward. You could switch that Bitcoin for another coin on a decentralized exchange, and then cash that coin out somewhere else. But like I said, there's really, I mean, this whole idea that people have about, I'm buying Bitcoin and when it goes up, I'm going to sell it and make a bundle, and then I'll have $5 million and I'm going to withdraw that to my bank account. Why not just hang on to the Bitcoin and use that to trade with other people, right? Somebody has a yacht and you say, okay, well, I got, 10 Bitcoin. Will you trade me 10 Bitcoin for your yacht or whatever? There's really, I'm hoping we're going to live in a world where converting your Bitcoin to cash is not going to be your objective, right? There'll be other ways to use that value as opposed to just cashing it out, right? But no one is saying that these regulations are going to prevent you from doing that, right? All they're saying is that they're going to have to report it to FinCEN, right? So if you bought 5 Bitcoin in 2015 and you have it in your wallet and you can document it or whatever, then if you want to cash out 200K worth of Bitcoin, then more power to you. And then they'll inform FinCEN, and FinCEN may send an agent to your door and say, we understand you just cashed out 200K in Bitcoin. You go, yeah, I've had Bitcoin in my wallet since 2015. Here, have a look, right? You can, they're not saying you can't do any of this. They're just saying that it has to be reported to the right authorities, right? It's a flag, right? Just because banks have to report people for depositing more than $10,000 in cash, and it looks suspicious, doesn't mean that people can't do that at all, or that they don't do it. I'm sure people are moving large amounts of cash in and out of banks with perfectly legitimate reasons why. They're rich, they're buying a boat or a house or whatever, and they've got the cash, and they're not saying you can't cash out your Bitcoin. They're just saying that there's now regulations attached to those transactions, right? But if you want to go underground, whatever. What's stopping you? Okay, let's see here. Counting. Is it possible to migrate Monero directly from Kraken to a Ledger Nano X, or is it preferable to transport to a hot wallet, then transfer to Ledger device for KMR strictly? You can move Monero from Kraken to your own wallet if you want to. It is, the way that Monero works is the transaction is obfuscated, and if you're trying to stay private, maybe buying it on Kraken isn't the best way to buy your Monero, but there's nothing stopping you from moving it from your exchange to your wallet. And if you have your Monero wallet set up in such a way that your private key is on your device, then basically you're moving it onto your ledger. I mean, a lot of people say that, can I move it onto my ledger? You don't never really move anything onto your ledger. Your ledger is a keychain. Your private key is held on the ledger, but the cryptocurrency of choice is just moving around on the blockchain out there, right? So you're never really putting it on the ledger. I think there's a lot of misconception about that, and people get freaked out, and they say, and I hear this one a lot, I've heard a lot. I get a lot of people saying, I can see it in Ledger Live, but how do I see it on my ledger, right? I'm getting all red-faced. And my answer is, let me see if I can get this. Ugh, come on, Rex. It's the same thing. It is on the ledger when you see it in your Ledger Live, right? So, but I get a lot of people, they're saying, okay, I can see here that I have 0.01 Bitcoin in my Ledger Live, but how do I see it on my ledger? I want to see it on my ledger. And they want to be able to move the buttons around until they actually see their balance on the ledger device. What are we doing here? Okay, there we go. Let's move this in. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so let me just try to clarify that. Let's get into Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin. I want to try to demystify all of this for you guys. All right, so here we are in the Bitcoin app, right? And so people look in here and they're looking around, they're rooting around, trying to figure out, where do I see my Bitcoin? Where is my Bitcoin? It's in... It's right there in Ledger Live, right? Ledger Live is accessing the wallet information that is stored on the ledger and is showing it to you on your computer screen. There's no, people are like, how do I transfer it from Ledger Live to my ledger? That's not the way this thing works. This thing holds private keys. But I talked about this a few weeks back. This is one of the main culprits. do this, but I'm going to do this. This guy right here, that's one of the main culprits to this misconception. They see this thing that says approve 1.5 BTC with a check mark above it. I have never seen that. When you send Bitcoin, you do have a screen that shows you the balance that you are about to transfer, but it does not appear under the approve message with a check mark above it. I don't know why Ledger feels like that is an appropriate picture for their product, because you never see that. You never see approve 1.50 Bitcoin. So I think maybe that's where people think that they should be seeing the balance of their cryptocurrency on the device screen, but that's not how the device works. It interfaces with some kind of wallet software to show you your current balance, right? There's your current balance. Seeing it in Ledger Live confirms that it's in the device, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's look at the Monero wallet. Let's see if the Monero wallet is caught up here. All right. This thing. Oh, okay. The Monero wallet is like being weird. This whole thing about this daemon not syncing properly. Maybe I shouldn't talk about the Monero wallet tonight. I don't know that there's this bug that's been, they say it's not a bug, it's somebody, it's like, I don't know what it is. I thought that I had fixed this, but apparently they said, oh, just update to the latest version. I updated to the latest version, which is 1.0.17.1.7, and this thing went away, and now it's back again. And then somebody else mentioned that there's a thing you can do with the node, and you can find it somewhere and delete. It's like somebody is putting, I don't know. I really shouldn't talk about this in the live stream. It's not. But I did kind of, if I wanted to put some Monero in here, I would just go to the account. I would do a receive. If this thing is going to work at all. Maybe it's not. It's not. Oh. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. There's the Monero address of the wallet, quote unquote wallet, right? Let's take a look at it here. Okay. Let's look at it here. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about addresses, right? Someone asked me earlier, what's the difference between the wallet address and the public address? There really isn't. The wallet, both of those terms are not very concise. There is the private key, the public key, and there are receiving addresses, plural, right? So the private key can derive the public key, and the public key can derive individual receiving addresses. But you can't go backwards. If you have a receiving address, you can't really derive the public key. And if you have the public key, you can't really derive the private key. That's encryption in action, right? But they're just basically numbers. But this is the public address of my Monero wallet. I can send Monero to use this address to send Monero. So why don't we do that? Let's do that just for the laughs. All right, probably going to get the FinCEN all over me. Let's go to, I wanted to kind of do this last week. Let's go to Kraken. All right, let's sign into our Kraken account because they sell Monero, I'm pretty sure. Now I'm going to touch my device, which is in my USB port. I have a hardware device in there. Okay, I think I need, first of all, I need some money in here. not sure if I can get it in here fast enough. If I recall, I don't use Kraken enough to be good at this. Maybe I'll do a bet. Let's do it a different way, because I should have deposited some money in Kraken before I did all this, right, for you guys. Well, let's just put some in there. All right, so what are we doing here? Funding. Here we go. We'll see how long this takes. All right, so I want to deposit some Tether in here. We'll deposit some Tether, and then hopefully, come on, what happened? Oh, okay. See, I don't know what this is doing here. All right, there. Yeah. Whatever. What do you want? What do you want? Generate new address. Whatever. Okay. I've done this before. I'm going to use this address, right? Let's select it. Let's go over here. Let's go to our accounts. Let's go to our Tether, and let's send. Whoops. I'm going to send Tether to this address. This is the address of my Kraken account. Let's do 100. All right. All right. Let's hit continue. All right, now I need to sign the transaction. So I'm going to disconnect this guy. Ugh, what do you want me to do here? Please install the Ethereum app? Never seen that one. It was connected. It was actually saw the other device. I had two ledgers attached. And the other ledger did not have the Ethereum app on it. So it was confused. All right, here we go. All right. Now it wants me to open the Ethereum app on my device. So we'll do that. Let's hit both. Open that. We're sending some Ethereum to our exchange account so that we can buy some cryptocurrency. I got to review this. All right. Okay, there we go. There's the amount. There is no approve with a check mark over the amount, right? And it says amount. There is where I see a balance of, cryptocurrency being shown on the screen of this device, right? Now there's the address we're sending it to. There's the fees. There's that accept and send, but it doesn't have 1.5 BTC underneath it, does it now? Or Tether. So I don't know why they show that on this picture here. Never see that. All right, so there, we did it. We sent it. All right, and so that's that. So we'll buy some Monero when we get there. All right. All right, now let's buy a little Bitcoin. Let's get some other things going here. Let's buy some Bitcoin on crypto.com. Just so we'll get some more than one transaction going at the same time. Please work. There we go. Yay. Sometimes you have to beg your devices to work, and they will, if you really mean it when you ask them. Okay, so there's crypto.com. Let's go to trade. We're just under 24 now. Let's go to trade. Let's go to buy. And let's choose Bitcoin. All right, and instead of 0.5, let's buy 0.001. I can do that. Let's do 2. No, let's not do that. Let's do 1, 2. 1, 5. All right, yeah, $35. I don't see. Probably going to get a low balance alert from my bank, right? Because I don't keep that much money in my bank account. I'm sure I will. They're going to be like, dude, you're down to like $2, $20, whatever. There! See, I told you. Whatever. I know how much money I got. All right, so there we go. I just purchased some Bitcoin on crypto.com using my debit card. All right? We bought some Bitcoin. All right, well, now I would like to move that Bitcoin into my Ledger-based wallet, right? We want to, okay, there the Tether went out. Okay, we knew that. All right, so let's take a look at our Bitcoin account. All right, Now, I could do a receive, right, and show QR code and scan that code, right? But I have already sent Bitcoin from Crypto.com into this wallet before. So Crypto.com, it doesn't really like it when I generate a new receiving address for the same wallet. It sort of thinks, well, it knows it's the same wallet fundamentally and will throw an error of some kind, right? So we talk about that before. The Ledger wallet, every time you use it, if you've sent Bitcoin to that wallet in the past, the next time you use it, it will generate a brand new receiving address. As I mentioned earlier, your wallet, your public key, can generate multiple receiving addresses. This increases privacy and security, right? But Crypto.com, when the same wallet generates a new receiving address, it sort of knows that it's the same wallet. I don't know, must be see something under the hood. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that we're going to hit transfer. That this wallet we're about to send to is already in my whitelist. We're going to choose external wallet and Ledger X main, I believe. That's it. Pretty sure. I've been using it for other stuff too. Yeah, let's do that. I'm pretty sure that's the right wallet. And then we'll send the max, right?
What is that?
This is me transferring the Bitcoin from the exchange to my own personal wallet. Withdraw? Ugh, what? Okay, what is that? I don't know. Let me just... okay. Oh, minimum. Oh, okay. It's not enough Bitcoin. All right.
Well, I don't.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not enough Bitcoin to make a transfer. Okay, so I'll sell this Cardano for Bitcoin. All right, let's do that. Let's sell the ADA for Bitcoin. And how much are we going to... Let's just do it all. Can I do that? No. Minimum requirements. Okay. Doggone it. Just not cooperating with me today, are you? Okay. That sucks. I'm kind of got myself in a pickle here. I guess I should have bought more Bitcoin. It used to be that $38 was more Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin is so high, I'm sort of under whatever the minimum for Bitcoin transfers is. Okay. Let me see that again. That was weird. All right. I have $38 worth of Bitcoin, which is 0.001 whatever. And when I try to withdraw it, they're like, no, it has to be at least 0.003, which is, let's take a look at that. This is new. Okay. Here. Okay.
I got a yellow weapon instead.
Okay, Kraken just told me my tether is there, so we'll use Kraken. All right, so 0.003 Bitcoin. Okay, so it would have to be at least $71 worth of Bitcoin. So their minimum Bitcoin requirements are now higher, dollar-wise, than they were a few weeks back, right? A few weeks back, $50 worth of Bitcoin was probably enough to reach that 0.003 minimum, which I was not aware of. And I don't have enough money in my bank account to buy more Bitcoin to bring it up to 71. Because, you know, I don't have enough money in my bank account, right? All my money's over here in the crypto. But let's go over to Kraken, because they said it's in here now. So let's go. All right, so the tether has arrived. All right, let's look for Monero now. I think we go over here, right? XMR. All right, yeah, okay. So it's probably going to say something dumb like I can only trade US dollars. Yeah. Okay. All right. I can deal with that. I always find Kraken to be a little tricky. All right. So what I want to do is, All right.
Help. Ow.
US dollar tether.
The thing is, like,
Okay.
I can't even see it coming. It's just sort of.
Why is it? Oh, okay.
Jeez, that's,
Why does it say I only have 26? I thought it just said I had 100.
we gotta get out of here. I don't want to get engulfed by that.
Okay. Let's go here. Do I even know what I'm doing here? It doesn't seem like it.
I guess it is. Okay.
Oh, pooies. Okay. All right. I want to sell, right? Ah, here we go. All right. Sell US Tether for US dollar. Can I do that? For market. Okay. Okay. It's going to let me do that?
Bruh.
Okay. That was good.
I mean,
All right, so now I have US dollars. So now, hopefully, I should be able to trade for XMR now, right? Let's try that. All right, XMR. What just happened? Did it work? What am I doing here? XMR, US dollars. Okay.
Wait, the other guy was in a chicken survive.
Oh, okay. All right, XMR for US dollars. All right, I'm going to do market again, and I want to buy XMR with US dollars. Doggone it. All right, well, how much do I want to buy? Amount of XMR to buy. See, this is why it's so difficult to use this exchange. All right, I can do it. All right, XMR. Okay. All right, so 100 bucks of XMR. All right, should be 0.64. All right, so let's do that. We should be able to get away with this one. All right, let's try that. All right, are they going to let me do that? Okay. Oh, it's going to cost me $99 US dollars. Did I get it done? I think I did. All right, so let's go back to funding. God, this site is moving slow as hell. All right, there we go. All right, so I do. I have the XMR. All right, so let's go back here. Get this XMR address that I copied into my clipboard earlier. I don't know if it's going to show up with this whole, the thing is not totally synced, but let's do it anyway. Let's withdraw the XMR. We're going to need to whitelist this address. Ledger. This is a Ledger-based XMR wallet.
Someone's over there, by the way.
Let's paste that in there. Let's go ahead and save that. The withdrawal address needs to be confirmed. Okay, I'm going to get an email from them. Hopefully soon. Okay. Come on, Kraken. You can do it. There it is. All right, there. I'm going to confirm that address by clicking this link. Okay. All right. They're happy. I'm happy. All right. Now let's go back to withdraw again. All right. And now the address is in there. Okay. I want it all. Can't I max it out? All right, let's try that. Maybe it'll let me do that. Okay. It's very small fee. But anyway, okay. Please enter a valid number. Let's try 0.63.
You are at max.
Okay, it likes that. All right, let's confirm. Withdrawal confirmed, successfully submitted. Okay, view withdrawals. Withdrawal requested. Okay, so there we go. We did it. There. Now, it says initiated, right? It's not completely done yet. But it will show up in this wallet eventually. If I can get that last block to sync, which I don't think it will. There's been some trouble with the Monero wallet. It's not syncing that last block for some bizarre reason. I thought that there just crashed. Welcome to the wonderful world of crypto. Okay. Seriously? Oh, I disconnected it. Okay. It's looking for the Ledger device. All right, so I'm going to disconnect this one. I'm going to reconnect the Ledger Nano S, which has the Monero app on it. The private key for the Monero wallet is on this device. All right, now I'm gonna should be showing you this. All right, so I've entered the private key, and now there's the Monero app on my Ledger Nano S. Let's hit both buttons. All right, now I'm gonna enter that password. All right, I want to hold up the device so you can see what's happening here. All right, so I'm gonna hit OK. All right, and then it says export view key, which basically means export the public key. So I'm going to hit this little button here, and that should open up the wallet, and I should see my balance. Here, the daemon's going to start syncing, but like I said, there's this crazy bug where the daemon won't completely sync, which is going to screw us up completely. I won't be able to, it won't update the amount until the blocks are fully synced, which is distressing. I'm not worried. I know that the Monero will go in there, but the wallet is not going to update properly until we've straightened this out. All right, let's go here to Get Monero. Let's check to see if there's a newer version of the wallet. No, it's not. It's the same. This is the latest version of the wallet. So I don't really have the wherewithal to find that post where somebody told me how to fix this. There's a way to do it. It's in Reddit. I don't know how you look at your own posts, if that's possible. Ah, okay. I think this is it. I did the sync, found the offending IP and did a manual ban without shutting down the node. Same way, probably not as long lasting. Could add block text as second step. If you encounter the problem, you can easily find the offending node yourself. If the list isn't up to date, type print cn in the daemon command and check the node where it says syncing instead of normal in the list. Add its IP address to your block list, restart the daemon, and voila, problem solved. Can I do that while I'm like talking to you guys? I don't know, because this is just ridiculously stupid. If you encounter that, you can easily ban the offending node in the list up to date by typing in the daemon command. I don't even know where that is, the daemon command. Waiting on daemon. Advanced. Yeah, I'm too flustered to try and do this right now, but apparently there's a way to make this last daemon sync so that we'll see the Monero actually coming into the wallet. But it will. See, the problem is it keeps going 1 and then 2 and then 1 and then 2, and it never actually syncs. But apparently there's a command line in here somewhere that I can add that command to. Easily ban. in the daemon command line. Yeah, see, you'd probably have to do it in the CLI, the command line interface. I'm not really sure how to get into the command line interface right here. So I'm helpless. Okay, whatever. So much for me trying to show you guys how Monero works. Okay, I guess the NSA guys are busy screwing around with Monero wallet users. All right, here we go. Let's go down here. All right, RT Lowry, thanks for the tip. RT, I haven't used my Ledger Nano S for 3 or 4 years. Are there any concerns? Aaron Doyle, hey Aaron, it's nice to have you here. Is helpful when I run into snafus in live demos. That's good. So yeah, I've been running into quite a few snafus tonight. Let's hope so, that we'll all learn from this horrible experience of mine. Never used Cash App. Down with suppression. What was the question I just read? Oh, okay. So yeah, there's that node behind. So you guys are following along with me. I could probably do this in less than 5 if I'm like by myself and focused. But when I'm like trying to show you guys, I'm always flustered and I can't find, how to enter the command line and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll probably do it in 2 minutes after I'm done. So I thanked RT Lowry for the tip, and I wanted to address this question that Chris Shine mentioned, and I had someone ask me this, and they said, okay, I have a Ledger device, right? And it's been in the drawer for 3 or 4 years. All right, and that's all well and good. If you want to leave it in a drawer for 3 or 4 years, that's fine. The problem that you're going to encounter there is that when you do pull it out, there will have been, and you sit down at the computer that you originally set up your Ledger Live at some point. But if you have, let's look at it if it's today, and you've had it in your drawer for 3 years, the interface to your device has changed considerably since then. Back in those days, they used the Chrome app to interface with the device, right? Ledger Live didn't even exist. So you're going to have to install Ledger Live, right? And then you're going to need to attach your device. The problem there is that your device will be behind several firmwares, right? So your device will not have the latest firmware, so you're going to have to deal with updating the firmware on your device, right? So this is the question, well, what if I just leave my Ledger in my drawer for 3 years? After those 3 years come out, you're gonna need to update your interface software. You're gonna need to connect the device and go into Manager and make sure that you're running the latest firmware. I need to get out of this app that I'm in. Right, and then I'm going to choose Allow Ledger Manager. And Ledger Manager is where you manage the firmware updates, right? So right now I'm at the latest firmware update. Another thing that you need to manage in your Ledger Live is the apps. At the moment, all of my apps are up to date. I'm running the latest version of all of the apps. But and generally, when you run the firmware updates, it reinstalls your apps for you from scratch. So after your firmware update, you would be running the latest version of the apps too. But if you had the latest version of the firmware and you had your device in a drawer for a year and the firmware had not been updated and you pulled it out, you might need to update the app in order to, for it to function properly. Bitcoin is pretty cut and dried. But if you had some other cryptocurrencies on there, like Polkadot or something, you definitely, there would probably be updates to the app and all. So, and if you wait for 3 or 4 years to pull your device out of your drawer, you're probably doing that because you need to get access to your crypto. And it's like on your plate, right? So you're going to pull out this device and you're saying, you know what? I want to sell 0.1 of my 5 Bitcoin, right? I need some money, right? So you're going to pull this device out of the drawer, and instead of being able to immediately transfer it to Coinbase so you can cash out, you're going to be presented with this technical issue of, my software is out of date, right? And then you're going to update your software, and then you're going to connect your device, and then you're going to be presented with this technical problem of the device not being up to date. You're going to have to deal with that, right? So it's going to be very stressful. So my advice to you, instead of keeping it in the drawer for 3 or 4 years, you should periodically take it out of the drawer, like every 6 months would probably be sufficient. Connect it, make sure your software is up to date, make sure the firmware is up to date, and maybe just check your balance, right? So you don't have to, even if you don't plan on moving the crypto, right? You could say, okay, let me do a receive, right? And then let me watch it says open Bitcoin, right? Let me watch the address appear on the device, right? That is a receive. I'm just doing a receive to test it, to make sure that the device is interfacing with my computer, right? There's the address. I'm going to approve that. All I did there was just, and I didn't even copy it into my clipboard, because I'm not really planning on transferring anything out. This is just my periodic check, and doing a receive with the device connected is the easiest way to confirm that the account is correct and the device is correct. I've talked to people that have had multiple devices, and they pull out their device, they connect it, and they check their balance, or they try to do a receive, and it gives them an error message. And it's because they don't have the right device attached, or the device is out of whack, or it's not updated, or whatever. So if you periodically pull out your device and confirm that the device is synced properly with the account, and then I can go to bed and say my 0.15 Bitcoin is safe and sound. I have full access to it, and my device is up to date, and then put the device back in the drawer and close Ledger Live and don't worry about it, all right? And the benefit of this is that when you do your periodic update, you don't have another task on your plate, right? You're not like freaking out because you're trying to transfer 0.1 Bitcoin to Coinbase so you can cash out $300 for that new dress or pair of shoes, or the new watch or whatever that you want that money for, right? If that's your intention, right? You don't want to be stressed out when it comes to dealing with crypto. So, and another thing that is beneficial about this is you'll be staying in practice. I get a lot of people that have had their device in their drawer for a couple of years and they're way out of practice. They may not have they just barely got through the setup. And now they're trying to pull their device out after 3 or 4 years and encountering all of these technical issues of updates they have to deal with, when all they're really trying to do is just transfer some Bitcoin somewhere, right? Or at the very least, they're trying to confirm that it's there, right? I get a lot of that. Like, is it still there? Is it on the device? Well, this is the way you double check that, right? All you got to do is connect it and do a receive, and it will query the device. And if this is the wrong Bitcoin account for this device, it'll tell you, right? So now we've confirmed this Bitcoin is associated with this device, so we're good, right? Ledger Live calls them accounts. They're technically Bitcoin wallets. They're individual wallets. They're all derived from the master private key on this device, but you can have multiple Bitcoin wallets, right? As you can see in mine, I've got multiple Bitcoin wallets, right? That I can, like I have a SegWit wallet, and I've got some wallets that for addresses that I've given to some of my affiliate accounts, and that's where their Bitcoin comes in, right? So you can manage multiple addresses. All right. And one more time, the balance that I'm seeing right here is being pulled from the blockchain. It doesn't really need to query this device to see my current balance, right? I don't even need this device connected to launch Ledger Live and check my balances. And I don't need the device connected to add more Bitcoin to this account, right? I can just do a receive and say, don't have my device, and get this Bitcoin address. A little bit less secure. You know, they say, oh, you should connect your device and make sure that it, that the address matches, which you saw me just do. But you don't need to, right? I could just pull this address from Ledger Live and go make a withdrawal. I could go buy some more Bitcoin and drop it in here. And this device could be living in the drawer the whole time, right? You don't need to have the device connected to receive Bitcoin into the wallet, right? It's all on the blockchain, right? This Ledger Live is reading the blockchain to give me the current price of my portfolio or this wallet based on what it's found to be the current price of Bitcoin, which it says is 23.5. Seems low. Has Bitcoin suddenly dropped 500 since my live stream started? Well, according to Crypto.com, it's still 23.8. So whatever exchange this guy's querying is slightly different. Okay. And we can go over here too. What is CoinGecko telling me the current price? 23.7, right? So I thought that 23.544 seemed a little low. And that's another thing you should be aware of when you're dealing with Ledger Live. It's not really designed to track your portfolio. It sort of does, but it's really its main job is to manage your wallets, and manage the private keys that are on these wallets and give you, your current balance of crypto. Wouldn't worry too much about this or this, right? A lot of people freak out when they buy $100 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase and then they transfer it and Ledger Live tells them it's only worth 95. That's not something you should really get all worried about, right? Because Ledger Live has its own exchanges that it queries for Bitcoin. Let's look at that. We can even see that here. Over in, let's see, where is it? I think it was here. Okay, I know it's around here somewhere. I can't find it, of course. I'm dealing with this right now. I thought it was an account. Okay. Can't find it. Is it just me? There used to be like a list of where it was getting its prices for all the different cryptocurrencies. Maybe that's if I click on that? No. Okay. Operation history, high identity, about. Wow, I thought it was in here. Really having some. Okay. Maybe it's not there anymore. I don't know. It's weird. Okay. I can't find it. It used to be in there. They used to show you, you could choose which exchange you wanted to query for each individual asset that you had. But apparently they've updated it and changed it in some way. Maybe I just can't find it. I don't know. I thought I knew where it was. Go figure. All right, let's go down. Sorry, guys. All right, more questions. Okay. Let's see if I can. And, if I miss anybody's question, please, please, please throw your question in the comment section below the video. I think you can do that now while I'm in the live stream. But for sure, after the live stream, there are the comments section of the video. You can post questions there, and I will get to them, right? Unfortunately, when I go back and I watch the live stream the next day, and I see that I missed a question over on the side, there's no way for me to contact this person, right? So, like, for example, if I wanted to contact Joe the next day, this gives me no way of, like, messaging him after the live stream is over. So if I miss, and why is he, appears to be spamming. Okay. All right. So anyway, if I'm missing one of your questions, then please leave them in the comments section down below. All right. Okay. If you want to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, Dan has mentioned that I do have a video on that. And I believe that video is in the description down below here. How to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase and store in a Ledger Nano X 2020. And there's the link to it down there. So if you want a step-by-step and I'm not answering your question, then you can watch this video. It's a step-by-step. Okay, Rex. Our Trezor says Ledger Nano X's Bluetooth is an attack vector, so Trezor intentionally blocks Bluetooth. Do you worry about a Bluetooth attack? Mod, how can I be approved for Q&A, not spam filtered? Okay, Donnie, the spam filter, YouTube has their own spam filter. So if you put a link or an email address or profanity, YouTube will flag you automatically, right? And then I'll see that you got flagged by YouTube, and I can decide whether to show your comment or not. But apparently this particular question has not been flagged by YouTube, and I'm not going to flag you. It's a perfectly valid question. The Ledger Nano X does have Bluetooth, and they say that that's an attack vector. I'm not too sure about that because it is my understanding that the private key never leaves the device, right? So the private key is not being sent across Bluetooth. So that is not, and if that's the attack vector, then that's not what they're talking about. I think what they're talking about is perhaps like a man-in-the-middle attack, so that if I'm in the middle of a transaction, that somehow the attacker via Bluetooth might be able to communicate with my app and change the address that I'm sending the Bitcoin to, possibly. That's very rare, and I'm not sure if that's even true or not. But I've never heard of that. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. But a lot of people have misconceptions about the way this device works, and so you're thinking, oh, maybe if I'm using my device, someone can just like stroll by my house with a Bluetooth attack phone or whatever. I don't know how they would do it. It would have to be some sort of customized app, and somehow gain access to my device. But like I said, you have to manipulate the device in order to sign transactions. But if someone were next to me while I was signing a transaction, perhaps they could switch the address so that I'm signing a transaction, sending Bitcoin somewhere to the attacker and not to my cryptocurrency exchange. It's possible, but I'm not overly worried about that. You can disable the Bluetooth on this, I guess, if you're worried about that. You don't have to use the Bluetooth. I don't normally use the Bluetooth, although I do sometimes. But I probably want to do some more research on that and find out what the risks are. But I have used it. We were on vacation a few months back, and I took my Ledger with me, and I didn't have my computer with me, and I was doing some transactions where I used the app, right? Ledger Live has an app that you can interface with. Oops. That uses Bluetooth to go back and forth. Now, when I'm using my computer, I'm not using the Bluetooth. It's connected to my computer. I don't know that the Bluetooth is leaking any of that information out or not when I'm connected to my computer, but I'm thinking it's not, right? But the point, I guess the main point I'm trying to make is that the private key never leaves the device. So even when you're using the Bluetooth in a restaurant or whatever, the private key is not traveling across the Bluetooth, and it's like not in the open air for someone to catch. They might be able to intercept one transaction, possibly, but I need to research that a little more. So when if I want to send Bitcoin, the wallet sends a transaction request to the device, right? The device processes that transaction request, and then it asks for a signature of the private key. That's when I use my buttons, right? When I'm using those buttons is when I'm actually signing the transaction. Once the transaction is signed, it becomes what's called a signed transaction, and that's the part that gets sent back across the Bluetooth to the phone and the blockchain, all right? But the private key itself is a long number that stays in here that never leaves the device. So I'm not sure, and you know, Trezor, I wouldn't call Trezor an objective observer. Trezor and Ledger are constantly at each other's throats. I think, you know, about weaknesses between their devices, right? But if you're super paranoid and you've done your research and you feel that you're exposing yourself, then I believe you can disable the Bluetooth on the device and just use it at home on your computer. But I don't, right? So maybe there's somebody lurking outside my window now. Who knows? I don't have a Ledger yet, just my iPhone. Is that what you mean? Is Ledger a piece of hardware you have to buy? Yes, you do. You have to buy it, right? It comes in a box and you buy it from Ledger. And there's a link down in the description if you want to go buy one. But you don't have to, right? You can you can download a Bitcoin wallet for free, right? You can download the Electrum Bitcoin wallet for free. And just install it on your computer and use Bitcoin. You can store Bitcoin in there. You can manage Bitcoin, send and receive Bitcoin. You don't need to run out and buy a Ledger device. Ledger device is a little more secure, right? The private key for the wallet is held on the Ledger, all right? Now, I was wondering earlier about MetaMask, right? MetaMask is another wallet, and I was like, where is the private key for MetaMask live? Well, it lives on your computer. All right, so if you have MetaMask, then there's a folder, and I found it. It's in your Google. It's even too far. All right, so here we go. Local disk, users, my name, app data, local, Google, Chrome, user data, default, local extension settings, and then this text file has got a thing in there called the vault, right? And you can take that vault, which is this really long number, right? That's not the private key. The private key is encrypted in that long number. And then you can use this MetaMask vault decryptor to generate your actual private key, which is really a long number. So as you can see, the private key is stored safely and securely on my device, my computer, for my MetaMask wallet. But it can be accessed by someone with physical access to my computer. Now, even this requires the password. So I can't even decrypt this vault unless I know the MetaMask password that I set up, right? But the attacker may also somehow know the password. So, but the attacker could also break in and steal my Ledger device, but he doesn't know my PIN, right? So the private key for the Ledger is stored separately and password PIN protected. So it's a little more secure than having it on the computer, which MetaMask does. And the same with Electrum Bitcoin wallet, right? You can download that and use it on your computer, but the private key for this wallet will be stored somewhere on your computer in encrypted format, right? So a physical attacker, someone that has physical access to your device, might be able to get it. Or an online attacker that has taken over your computer and has access to your device. That can happen also. So you want to, make sure your computer is safe. It has malware protection, all that kind of good stuff, right? Now, another wallet that I haven't mentioned yet that also, let's do this one, is Trust Wallet. Now, you can download Trust Wallet on your computer, your phone, and Trust Wallet is also a non-custodial free wallet that you can use to store Bitcoin. You notice there it supports Bitcoin. So you can go withdraw Bitcoin from your Coinbase account and store it in your Trust Wallet, which is on your phone, right? And in this case, the private key for the wallet is stored on the phone somewhere. And maybe someone with physical access to your phone might be able to get access to your wallet and fun. But I'm sure it's encrypted and probably password protected. So it's pretty secure, right? But it's not as secure as this. But it's free, right? You can download Trust Wallet for free. You can download MetaMask for free. MetaMask is a Chrome browser extension, which you can store cryptocurrency in there. And it's free. Or you can download the Electrum Bitcoin wallet and run that on your computer. But that's a Bitcoin only wallet, and it's free, right? So you don't need to go all. But I think I've mentioned this before. If you got $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and you want to put it in your own wallet, then spring for $100 for a Ledger, right? It's the most secure. Or whatever you feel is the most secure way to store your Bitcoin. Why risk $5,000 worth of Bitcoin if you're not willing to spend $100 to protect it? That's kind of my thing. Right. Okay, Kimberly, I hope that answered your question. Dan, go back to the beginning of this video and we'll see how to get a discount for a Ledger Nano X. Yes, for sure. In the description of the video, there's a discount code for Ledger that Ledger gave me as thank you for doing all these videos. LedgerLive-Dad, right? Use that at checkout. Does miners have fixed receive address, or there will be a different receive address for every block they mine? That depends the way you set up your mining software. If you have a Bitcoin miner or an Ethereum miner, or you're mining Monero or whatever you're mining, it's pretty hit and miss to try and be a solo miner using your rig. Generally, you're going to join some mining pool, and the receiving address can be anything you want it to be, right? So I can be running my mining rig, and I have my rig connected to a mining pool, and the address where it sends my rewards can be like in a wallet I have in New Jersey somewhere. It doesn't matter. You set up your own mining pool account in the mining pool, and then the rewards get sent to your whatever wallet you want, right? And you could periodically go into the mining pool and change that address. You could change it every day if you want, if you don't want it, you know. But it doesn't matter, right? It's not like a set thing. You personally, you can configure all that yourself. If you're smart enough to set up a mining rig, then you're probably smart enough to figure out how to, you know, send your rewards somewhere secure, right? It's not a fixed thing. Mara stock is worthless as your spam. Mara stock. Okay, you can. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't notice that Joe was doing that until too late. In Monero wallet, click settings, click node, enter command. Oh, yeah, let's try this. Okay, in Monero wallet, click settings, click node, enter command, ban, list, block text on line that says daemon startup flags when Okay, in Monero wallet, just click node, click enter, ban, list, block text on line that says daemon startup flags when start and stop daemon. I'm going to have to look at that again. Today, I thank you for that. No command should stick, but be sure to stick command is still there. Be sure command is still there. I had this gone the other day, the Monero problem. It's asking for the password now. But I'll get to it after this. But thank you for everyone's help. I mean, I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to some of the newcomer questions. Can I have a wallet in Yori with Ledger and other wallet in Daedalus with Ledger, same device? Actually, it's the same wallet. Let's check that out. Let's go to the Daedalus wallet. Right, here we go. We've got a Ledger Nano X connected, right? You can do add wallet. You can now pair. This is Daedalus main. I haven't posted the video on this yet, but you are able now in Daedalus to pair to store the private key on a Ledger device, right? And I've done that, right? That is this Ledger. So let's go into the Ada app, Cardano app, pardon me. All right, so this Cardano app, and I believe, I don't know if you do this. I'm surprised that they don't have a show address on device command, which is kind of weird. Most wallets have that. But no matter. Let's go over to Yori. Let's hit continue. I'm just going to put this up here. Let's agree to all this garbage. Let's do simple. Let's do allow. Okay. Oh, what? Ugh, seriously? What are you doing to me? I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, here we go. Connect to hardware wallet. Cardano, Ledger. Wow. It's like putting me through. Shelly, it's a new wallet. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Finally. Jeez. Took forever. All right. Export public key. Let's hit both buttons. Let's hit both buttons again. It's going to ask me to do this again for some bizarre reason. Don't know why. Export public key. Confirm. Okay. Yori. Wow. Okay. All right. Notice up here. 42,890 and 42,890. So your question was, can I do different wallets on the same device? I don't know if you can do different wallets on the same device. There are some wallets that will allow that, right? They have different derivation keys. I don't know that Cardano does that. It should, but I don't think that it does, right? So, but, oh, I see what I did there. What the heck? Oh, maybe I should have done this in a different browser, but that's okay. All right. So we're looking at the exact same wallet, right? Because we're looking at the same set of private keys that we were using before. I'm trying to get this in focus here. We're using the Cardano app on our ledger. When we installed the Cardano app, it installed a private key for a Cardano wallet that was empty when I installed the app in Ledger Live, right? When I went to Ledger Live and I went to Manager and I installed the Cardano app. My kids are running around upstairs. And it just kicked me out of the app there. That was kind of weird. The Cardano app is a little funky, but it works. Sort of. Okay. All right. I installed the Cardano app on my device, and then I'm done with Ledger Live. I can't use Ledger Live to view my Cardano, but I can use Yori, and I can use Daedalus now when I choose to connect to a Ledger device. Right? I can also view the same balance in Ada Lite. Okay, hardware, unlock. All right, export public key, confirm. It's going to ask me twice. Don't know why. Okay. All right, close. There we go. I don't know why it shows me like a different total, slightly different, but it's the same wallet. 42,890 and 42,886. Go figure. But it's querying the exact same private keys. Here we have a perfect example of a private key deriving a public key, and then the public key allowing an interface device. This is an interface software, this website. It does not, the Cardano is not in the web browser, right? The Cardano is on the Cardano blockchain. The private key is on my device over here, right? But we're accessing the exact same private key with 3 different interfaces, right? We got the Yori interface, we got the Ada Lite interface, and now Cardano Daedalus wallet supports Ledger devices. So, but the cool thing about using Daedalus is that I can stake from within Daedalus on my Ledger Nano X, right? I'm in the process of redelegating, right? It might take about a week, I think. It was delegated before when I was using it in Ada Lite, but now I found a validator on the Daedalus website, a new stake pool, right? So that's cool, right? And I'm going to post that video. The only reason I didn't post the video yesterday was I was having some trouble sending my Cardano. I was able to stake it, but when I went to try to send it in Daedalus, it wasn't communicating right with my device. It said okay, confirm the transaction on your device, and the message never came up on my ledger, right? So I had to go over to Yori and do it. I think I did it, or in Ada Lite, right? So that's another. Why don't we do a quick, while we're talking about this, let's go to my Brave. Pardon me. Let's go to, I think I've got this. Oh no, I guess I do have it over here. Let's check out come on, Rex. Elrond. This is the Elrond wallet. I'm on the Elrond website. Now, I want to go to Add Existing. Notice here that Elrond supports a Ledger connection. Right? So what I need to do is I need to get out of the Cardano app, and I need to go over to the Elrond app. Right? I'll hit both buttons there. Now I'm in Elrond, and it's connected. Elrond's a little different though because it didn't ask me to export the public key. But I can go up here. Notice when I go up here to this check mark and click that, it shows me the address on my device. This is a confirmation that this wallet is in fact connected to this device, right? But it didn't give me derivation paths either, right? If I can explain to you what a derivation path looks like. And notice here that I'm also delegating this Elrond. I did a video on that yesterday, posted it. I'm still on the waiting list, but apparently I'm earning some, right? I think I only have 17 now. What was that? Daily earnings, 35 cents, $10 a week, or $10 a month. It's not a lot, but it's, you know, something. So let me show you what a derivation path looks like. Let's try MyEther wallet. All right, let's exit Elrond. And let's go to Ethereum. All right, let's hit access my wallet. Let's do hardware, ledger. We tried this last week. All right, there's a different derivation path for the ledger itself, right? And lo and behold, this thing is working this week. I was having such a devil of a time with it last week. Notice there that these are all different Ethereum accounts that I can create on one device. Has multiple, and I can, there's more, right? I can like, they're almost infinite. You just have to remember where they are, right? I want to go back to the first one here. Notice there, I can click, this is 2.8.9, this one, right? I'm looking at the same Ethereum wallet on my ledger using a different interface. So that's how you can tell it's on the ledger, right? I'm not going to see my Ethereum balance on the device at all, right? I'm only going to see it in the interface here, my software interface, right? So, but we can, whoops, pooies, what did I do? Is it can I get that back? Probably not. Nope, okay. Have to go through it again. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to flake out on me now because nope, okay, it worked, okay. So we click the address that has the balance we're interested in, access the wallet, and we have full access to the wallet. We can send and receive. Here's a send interface. And when I try to send out, I will sign it on the device over here, just like when I use my Ledger Live, right? And I can manage my ERC20 tokens over here. Same wallet, same private key, same device, different interface, right? I've got MEW, or I can do Ledger Live. MEW is a little more flexible, right? Has more, it's a little more control over your wallet, right? Right, so it's pretty cool. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me turn off this camera real quick. Damn it. All right. Okay. I'm in trouble with my computer tonight. How do I convert Aave Len to AAVE? Don't know that one off the top of my head. Although most of the time, converting one like an earlier version of a cryptocurrency to a current version, like if it graduates to its own blockchain, the easiest way to do that is on Binance. Binance has a lot of, Binance is a great cryptocurrency exchange, but it is, in addition to that, is a very good way to convert your cryptos from one to the other. You can like deposit ERC20 Tron and it will magically become full-blown blockchain-based Tron. There are a lot of ERC20 tokens that you can deposit in Binance and convert. So let me see. And I know not everybody has access to Binance. They probably will block me when they see me doing this in my live stream. Okay, so what are we talking about? AAVE lend to AAVE. So let's say we're on Binance and we say, this is AAVE. All right, okay, so they got a bunch of them here. There's the lend, right? So let's say we're going to go deposit. They want an ERC20 address on this, which is interesting. But it looks like you could still, there it is, convert, right? So deposit. Okay, so deposit your lend here. It's the same address, actually, right? And then once it's in here, then you can convert it, right? They have a feature here that says convert. That would convert your, I don't know, convert. Maybe that's not what I'm looking at. But generally, you can use Binance to convert stuff. Like, for example, Tether. Let's say, they got a bunch of converts over here. Let's say I want to deposit Tether. It's going to say, oh, okay, well, what kind of Tether do you have, right? You got TRC20 Tether? Okay, send it to this address. You got Omni Tether? Send it to this address. You got Binance-based BEP2 Tether? Send it to this address with this tag, right? And then once it gets in there, it'll be converted to US dollar Tether on Binance, and you'll be able to use it, right? It most likely will convert it to the ERC20 version of Tether, right? So I'm sorry if you don't have access to Binance. If you don't have access to Binance, I would go to their webpage and see if they have a process, right? Boom. Go to their website. There should be some like explanation, maybe FAQ. How do you convert it? Probably going to be pretty complicated. There's probably a special wallet that you can download that'll help you convert it. You know, that's not something I know off the top of my head. Oh, okay. So Evan is helping you there. But I have different balances in Yori and Daedalus, is the question. Oh, okay, Daniel. All right, so you'll notice that when I showed you Yori, that the balance was slightly different than what was in Daedalus. But if it's drastically different, there's more than one way to create a Yori wallet, right? You can create a standalone Yori wallet that's not even connected to your ledger. So maybe that's what you're looking at when you see completely two different wallets. And you could just, if you've got a standalone Yori wallet that you need to like paste in that public key, or I'm sorry, that private key, or that that file, or whatever you need to do, right? Then perhaps you should just consolidate those wallets, right? Like send that over to the Daedalus ledger-based wallet, right? I don't know what you're doing, but a lot of people get confused with Yori. When they first announced support for the ledger, a lot of people were asking me, well, I already have a Yori wallet that I created with the private key. And so how do I get that into my new ledger-based Yori wallet? They're two separate private keys. So I'm not sure what you've done. You may have already created a Yori wallet with a standalone wallet that's not even connected to a ledger. So what you're going to need to do is transfer the balance from that wallet into whatever wallet you want to manage all of your ADA in, if that's what your intention is, right? If the Yori wallet that you have is connected to a ledger and then you also have a Daedalus wallet connected to the ledger, they should be the same, unless they're two different devices, or somehow you've got two different derivation paths. I don't know that you can do that. I haven't tried that. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't give you the option of like choosing a derivation path, because there should be multiple ones. And I didn't see, Yori didn't ask me that either. Anyway, like, yeah. All right, I'm going to have to sign out here pretty soon. I'm a little over. I usually end at 7:30. PayPal. The question here is about PayPal. As far as I know, PayPal will not allow you to deposit or withdraw Bitcoin. So it's not real Bitcoin. So you can go into your PayPal account and buy Bitcoin, and it'll show up in your account. It'll say, here's your Bitcoin, and the price will change based on the current price of Bitcoin. And you can use that Bitcoin to maybe buy something or switch it back to cash or whatever you can do in PayPal. I don't know. But if you're not allowed to withdraw the Bitcoin directly, then you're not really holding Bitcoin in PayPal. You're just sort of holding a marker that of an account that's tied to the price of Bitcoin, right? It's not real Bitcoin, but it is tied to the price of Bitcoin. So price-wise, it behaves like Bitcoin. And I'm sure that PayPal is got custody of some Bitcoin somewhere that allows them to tell you that they're selling you Bitcoin. But they're the ones that are holding it in your behalf, right? It's not real Bitcoin. You can't get it in or out of PayPal, right? Coinbase is holding Bitcoin on your behalf in their exchange, but they allow withdrawals and deposits. That's real Bitcoin, right? PayPal is just like a Bitcoin marker. It's just marking the price of Bitcoin and allowing you to like sort of, it's like a Bitcoin ETF, really. That's my understanding, is that you cannot withdraw or deposit Bitcoin in your PayPal account. Can Zilqua be stored in the ledger? Yes, you can. Whoops. There's a Zilqua app. You go into Manager, but not in Ledger Live, just on the ledger itself. So there's a Zilqua app, right? And you install the Zilqua app on your device, and then you've got to use a Zilqua wallet. I don't hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hope it's. Okay, there. Right, you have to use this Zillet thing, right? This is just like I was showing you with Elrond and MyEther Wallet and Ada Lite. All those are web interfaces to like a private key that you can store on your Ledger device, right? So you can connect to your Ledger if you have the Zilqua app and manage Zilqua. I've tried to do it before, but it didn't work. I was having trouble with it, but you can do it. It's possible. Another, I would like to, before I go, I would like to just point out to everyone, there's a lot of talk. I did a video and someone said, Brex, be careful with that ledger. They watched a video by some guru that was saying he doesn't recommend Ledger anymore because they were breached and their customer database was breached, and poo-poo on Ledger for that. Ledger does not have any information about your wallets, right? They do have a customer database that has the information of the people that have made purchases with them. It's an internal database that they use for sending out email blasts to their customers, right? If you buy a ledger, you're going to get any company that you buy anything from that you have to register with is going to put you on their mailing list, right? So to like fault Ledger for having a customer database is pretty asinine in my view. Of course they have customer information. Now, okay, they got breached. So yeah, that's bad, but so did the Department of the Treasury 2 days ago, right? And they're supposed to be like the most ironclad secure of all, right? Everybody can get breached, right? It's a fact of life. So to say that Ledger sucks because they got their customer database breached is a little simplistic in my view, all right? But what that does mean is that there are people out there that were able to get this information because the hackers, whoever breached their customer database, made this information available on the dark web or wherever. There are targeted attacks coming in from people that are trying to steal your crypto, but they cannot get access to your Ledger device. It just doesn't work like that. Right? What they can do is trick you into revealing your 24-word recovery phrase. That's what is going on here. I wanted to show you my phone here, if I can get it. Okay. I just wanted to show you this text, if I can. Here's one for Trezor, but they don't address me by name. Here's another one here. Okay. All right. So they're, oh, but this is not even, it's not addressing me. Here, this is the one. All right. This one is addressing me by name and telling me that I need to go to this website and update my software. If I were to follow this, they would, I would download some malware onto my computer that even that malware couldn't get into my Ledger device and steal my crypto. It cannot do that. That's not, the device is secure. What it could do was install some software that looks very similar to Ledger Live, and I would start running it, and it would at some point would say you need to enter your 24-word recovery phrase. That's where they steal your crypto. They don't need to get into the device to take the crypto. All they need to do is trick you into giving them your 24-word recovery phrase. Once they have that, they can use that to restore their own ledger wherever they are. France, Italy, China, Russia, Ukraine, Latvia, wherever they happen to be, they would just take your 24-word recovery phrase and restore their own ledger, and then they would have access to your wallets, and then they would transfer it somewhere else and leaving you with an empty wallet, right? But this malware, these phishing emails, they're not dangerous unless you allow them to trick you into entering your 24-word recovery phrase. That's all they can do. They cannot reach into your device and steal your crypto. All they can do is social engineer you, trick you into revealing your 24-word recovery phrase by using fear, right? So don't fall for it, right? And your ledger is safe, right? I don't know about this whole Bluetooth thing. I'm not particularly worried about it. I think that may be a very particular attack vector that is very narrow attack vector, right? But I'll do some more research on that. But the device connected to your computer is totally secure, unless, of course, you give someone your recovery phrase, right? Then they have access to your wallet, right? Very good, Today. Ledger does not store that information. They don't have that information. The device generates a random master private key when you initialize it, right? The inner workings of the device have been tested and certified by third parties. It generates as random as the universe will allow on a piece of hardware what we call a random key, right? So the only way anyone has access to it is if you give them that 24-word recovery phrase, because that is the human readable format of that master private key that lives on the device. So I just want to end with that, guys. Please don't give that up to anybody. Right? No one would ever ask you for that. I would never ask you for that. Ledger would never ask you for that. And while we're on the subject, I would never ask you to send me any money or any crypto. Someone sent me a scam email that was supposedly from me, asking him to send him crypto or do something or sign up for something. I would never do that. So my email address is the CryptoDad@gmail.com. It's not the CryptoDad so-and-so from Ukraine, right? So if someone sends you an email and claims to be me, look at the email address, right? If it doesn't say the CryptoDad@gmail, then it's not me. Don't fall for it, guys. Guys, I gotta go. It's time to enjoy time with my family. I am the Crypto Dad. Thanks for joining me. I hope I was able to answer your questions. If I missed your question, please throw them down in the comments below and I'll respond to them. All right? Don't forget, we do this every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again soon.